Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another Spark 143 model to talk about, and it's the number 8 2000 Audi R8 overall winner. The year 2000 was all about Audi. Their new R8 prototype debuted at the 12 Hours of Sebring and swept qualifying and the race with a 1-2 finish. But it all started in 1999 when Audi entered 4 cars for the race, 2 open cockpit prototypes and 2 closed cockpit GTP cars. 1999 was a test session, and they were experimenting to see which design was the best at Le Sarthe. Both closed cockpit R8Cs had gearbox issues and retired from the race. The open cockpit R8Rs did miraculously well. With all the attrition in the top class, both cars finished 3rd and 4th overall. With Toyota, Mercedes, and BMW out this year, all 3 R8s took the top spots in qualifying for the start of the race. Audi Sport Team EOS came to this race and this season prepared. They looked at every aspect of the sport and found ways to improve and stand apart from every other competitor. This was mostly in part to the Audi brand. They really wanted to make a name in the motorsport world, and they basically wrote a blank check to the team. Rumor has it that they spent well over $100 million campaigning this year. And it showed, from pit signage boards, to spare parts, to driver lineups. Audi was a top-notch team, ready to tackle anyone standing in their way. But the real demonstration came during the night, when the number 9 Audi pulled straight into the garage with what looked like electrical problems. The mechanics went straight to the back of the car. The pit reporters and everybody in the pits had no idea what was going on. They thought it was electrical. It seemed like it was mechanical on their end. All of a sudden, a winch came down. They looked like they were going to hoist something out of the rear end. Here comes an entire back end, already assembled, ready to go into the car. This had never been seen before, and usually when you have major problems like this, where it's mechanical, gearbox, or rear end, or whatever, it usually means you're retiring from the race. But as I said earlier, Audi looked at every aspect of the sport to see what they could improve to stay in the fight. And during practice, Audi did perform a rear end change, and it only took them 7 minutes. And to see this live, everybody was freaking out. I know Andrew Marriott, the pit reporter, he was going crazy on the mic. I mean, this had never been seen before. A car that was potentially going to retire was suddenly back in. In 7 minutes, they had the gearbox, the rear end completely swapped out, the car wheeled out of the pits, and it was back in the race. Both the 7 and the 9 had the rear end change, but the number 8 soldiered on and ended up winning the race. All 3 Audis crossed the finish line together, 1, 2, 3. That is unbelievable, because 2 of those cars were probably going to be retired if they not had this whole rear end change figured out. I remember listening to an interview from Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich, and his simple answer to that whole procedure was, if we don't know what the problem is, we will swap out the entire unit. That solves it. Rather than spending time in the pits trying to figure out what the issue is, just replace the whole back end and get back out on the track. And I'm not sure if it was this year or several years later, but I think one year Audi spent, out of the entire 24 hours of the race, Audi only spent 30 minutes in the pits. That is crazy, because races are won and lost in the pits. And the less time you spend there, the more time you're out on track and the more chances you have to win. And speaking of winning, here is the number 8 winning car. Silver and red, the number 7 was silver and yellow, and the number 9 was silver and black. All 3 cars finished, but this one won, so it gets the white display box. Track map on the back, the gold trophy on the side, and let's unbox it. Audi's factory racing colors are silver, so the car is a silver base, and I love just the subtle red pops. All 3 of these cars stood out because of the silver base. You had the red highlights, the yellow highlights, and the black highlights. But wow, this is such a cool car and such an iconic year. Audi basically came in and dominated, and they basically changed motorsport for the entire future. And it's a testament to see what a brand can do when they totally commit to winning the races. What's cool about the 2000s cars is that you have these deep side pods where the air comes out for aerodynamics. I know in some of the later Audi R8s, they closed that up quite a bit, but I love seeing the deep side pods. I love the OZ Racing wheels, and I love the 4 rings on top of the spoiler. The drivers on this car were Tom Christensen, Emmanuel Pirro, and Frank Biela. As I said on my earlier Audi video, Tom Christensen would go on to win 9 times, the most winning driver in the entire history of the race. So here it is, the 2000 R8, the number 8 car that won overall, and this year would start the journey of Audi and their incredible 13 wins at the race. And it all started with the 2000 Audi R8. I've got one more Spark model to unbox and talk about, but I've just pre-ordered that car and it could be out in May or it might be next year. I'm not really sure. So I thought I would end this series right now with the Audi R8, seeing that I started this whole journey talking about Spark models and the stories behind these cars with the Audi R18. So a nice little bookend between the Audi and the Audi. The next one will be coming out whenever I can get it. So look forward to that. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.